it's Dr. Nellie Kangwa, your relationship expert. And today I'm just going so deep into your soul because I'm talking about issues that really touch your hearts. So we are discussing the impact of marriage on a woman's career. And today I want to talk about dating because that's where it all starts from. Because I've done research and I've discovered that many women aren't doing very well in their career because they made a wrong choice or wrong decision in marriage. And so when marriage starts crumbling down, a lot of things begin to go wrong and it affects their career. If they marry a wrong person who's very possessive and cannot allow them to further their education, their lives just begin to tumble down. And so this is the reason why today I really want to talk about this issue on the impact that marriage has on a woman's career. So let's begin on the issue of dating. I'm going to touch on this issue basically with the 5 P's that I've put in place. And it is probing, perception, protection, precaution, and power. It is very important for every woman to have this understanding before you say I do. Before you swap your surname, before you actually get that metal on your finger, you need to ensure that you do a good job from the beginning, because the foundation of your future is important and it is embedded in the decisions that you make in the people that you date, and eventually if you have to make a decision to get married. Now, for those who are already married, don't worry, I'll be coming in the other sessions to talk about the marriage aspect when you're already married. For now, let's get into dating issues. And so what is probing? When you go for a date, it is important for every woman to have an understanding that you have to ask some interesting questions. You have to be very strategic. Please bear in mind, you don't have to be a police general in the Sgera general where you're just firing questions because you want to interrogate the guy. You need to be very sharp. You need to be intelligent in the way you are asking these questions. So these questions have to range from just social questions to very, very emotional ones and deep ones. And I call this spiritual mapping, where you take a spiritual journey to understand the person that you're going to spend your life with, especially that the children that you're going to have are going to come from his loins and they are going to have his surname. So it is important for you to understand where is the person coming from. So please, I want you to know when you're asking these questions, bear in mind that you are not interrogating. The person should not run away because of the questions that you are asking. So find out, where is he coming from? Who were his parents? What happened, in the home where he was growing up from. So as you are sipping your coffee, you are partaking of a cup of tea, you continuously, ask with laughter in between. So tell me about yourself. You know why I'm saying this? Because I've observed that many women, when you are dating, you are the one who is talking more. You are the one who's sharing how painful the relationship you are coming from was and how this person did this and that. Well, things must change. It should be you who has to get interested to know the guy more. Because as you know, men do not talk much. So you have to be very sharp to get this guy to actually talk back to you. Because when he starts sharing, you'll be able to pick some things in his background that could influence where you're going. So probing is very imperative in dating, especially in the beginning of your days, as you are falling in love, as you've got all the butterflies. Please ask, did you grow up with a dad? The reason why you're asking these questions, for example, if in the home he grew up from, the father was absent, or maybe he just impregnated the mom and he has just grown up with the mom, do you know that there will be some aspects of him manifesting some of those things that were happening in the home? Because if he didn't grow up with a dad, there's going to be some lack of fatherhood, some lack of him knowing how to be a husband. So you would need to start taking note of those things and reduce your expectations. Because if you did not see any male figure around the house, those aspects may start showing up, and it will be up to you to just note down. Don't go with a notebook. You need to just note down in your mind that, of course, the person that I'm going to spend life with has got such type of issues. Also find out on their career in the family, their uncles and all those, people that, are so related in their lives, or what I call bloodline, where he's coming from. Just probe a little bit and find out about their career, find out how far they go in their education, find out a few of those things. Remember, when you are in love, you'll be very free to know a lot of things that will help you to have the best marriage that you want to have. When you do, these things, and when you investigate these things, they will help you to make, you make a very informed decision. You are not going to be, coerced by emotions. That is why you've got to cool down. Okay, you've got to cool down. I was watching a movie the other day. It is about fetal relationship, relationship, something like that. What I observed there was, when this guy, it seems as though this guy was monitoring this girl because there was some information that he actually needed. And so after monitoring, he even went to start working in that company, basically to just meet this girl. And one moment, they were, he pretended like he was also a lawyer, and the girl was also a lawyer. So they found, themselves investigating one case at the same time. And that's how she quickly just fell in love because things were not going well at home. Now, within just few days of meeting, this woman had fallen in love with this girl, and immediately they went for a party, and they were, they were kissing, and something just clicked without knowing that he was actually taking photos. And the rest of the movie was very sad. Of course, at the end of it, all things turned out, and the guy was shot dead. But what I picked from there was, there is a way in which a woman quickly falls in love, and it seems as though she's forgetting herself. She's just so overwhelmed, and when you're overwhelmed, you cannot even investigate the person, because if this woman had taken time to just ask this guy about his past, ask this guy what is happening. Of course, even if the setup was wrong because she was already married. But the point I'm trying to take is this: you need to be very careful, because this is the person you want to spend your entire life. And so if you make a mistake in the very beginning of the relationship, it will be difficult to actually correct some of those mistakes. And there are a lot of women who are in regret today because you did not do a good job in the beginning. So I'm speaking to you, young lady, before you actually get so excited to change or switch your surname, take these steps. Very important, and you need to put them into practice. The second point is perception. So as this guy is talking, your dude, as handsome as he's looking, as he's talking, you need to perceive what he's not saying. You need to pay attention. You need to be a good listener, because as he's speaking, you're able to perceive some things. That is why when he's talking, you need to have first cleaned your filters, your internal representation. Do not read the man based on the other guy you had. Do not read the man based on the disappointments and the pain that you've experienced in the other relationships. So it is very important for you to clean up your filters. Never say men are the same. He's also a cheat. He'll cheat me. By the time you are having this conversation, you don't know what is going on within you, because you may start actually generating negative energy, which has caused a lot of people to lose out on a good guy because of the energies, negative energies, and you start repelling the person. So you need to be very careful what you are perceiving and what you are radiating out of you, because if you are listening based on your understanding or based on your filters, the way your mind, perceives things, your worldview about relationships, the worldview about men, you will misread a lot of things, and before you know it, you will find yourself actually bringing about some negativity in this relationship, and those negativities will cause some disconnect. So there was a connection at one moment, and the guy was all over you, and you felt this is the one, because it's that connection that hits the two of you. But then you find the third, fourth time you're meeting, the guy starts having excuses. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, sorry, I couldn't respond to your text because I was doing this and that. It is because that connection has been lost. Why? The way you were radiating the energies out of you, the negative thoughts within you concerning men, may cause this man to actually disconnect from your life. So perception is very important. You need to perceive right. You need to have eye contact. Listen to what he's saying, because as he's talking, you'll be able to pick a lot of things, and you'll be able to pick the energies of what he's really talking about, if it's really true or he's just lying. You've got to get some training of being a good lie detector. You can tell these things, because as you are getting this person to open up and share, you can tell that actually he's exaggerating some things or he's lying. So perception is very important. The next point in a relationship, or when you're dating this guy, is protection. You need to protect yourself. You need to guard your heart. Because let me tell you, the moment you fall in love with your hair, with your nails, with everything around you, you will actually fail to see danger. You will actually fail to see some of the things that are not right in this person's life. And when it comes to protection, you need to protect yourself also sexually. Because the moment you actually get into having sexual intercourse, immediately you've known each other. Let me tell you what goes in the mind of a man. Then he starts wondering, how many other guys had it this easy? You need to know that a man is not really looking out for sex. Men are not really so crazy about sex. The issue has been more about their mind. That is why every girl must learn this. You need to have an understanding that what excites a man is actually intellectual intercourse. You need to get him, to get high, in his mind. So you need to protect the relationship, because the moment you start indulging in sex, what will be reading the relationship, or that will be making the relationship to go to, to another level, and eventually the guy may even give up on you. It's just this aspect of sex that you begin to have before you even get to know each other. You are quick, you are already aroused. He tries once, you are gone. Protect your mind, protect your time. It is very important to also know that before you met him, you had a life. Okay, so because you had a life, he's got to know that you can't be found with him all the time. You need to protect your time. You need to protect your privacy, because you need to still have some private life. You need to still continue relating with certain people you used to relate with. There are a lot of men, when they get to be with you, they want you to cut off from other relationships. That is why it is important, as you are sharing time together, you need to tell him, to say, look, this weekend I'm spending with my mother, with my brothers, we're going somewhere. You shouldn't say, oh, but you're supposed to be with me, or I'm going with my girlfriends. Never let him own your life, own your time, own everything about you. You need to live yourself. You need to protect yourself from these, some of these people that may simply come in to confuse all your time. It is important to do that, because the moment he knows that you actually have so much respect for your career, you have so much respect for your family, you've got so much respect for your church belief. And there are many girls, when you start relating or have, dating the guy, you stop going to church because he wants to be with you on Sunday. You stop doing some of the things. You stop going to the gym because he wants to be with you. No, you have to protect your life. You've got to protect time. After all, he is not your husband. So you are not going to change your life or change your programs based on him. You need to ensure that you have protected yourself in that manner. The fourth P is precautions, okay? You need to take precautions in several ways. What precautions am I talking about? Precautions have to range from your own body, okay? Say, for example, now when I'm speaking this, I am not actually giving it a green light, okay? If you have to have sex, you need to, have protected sex, because today there are some people, even if you say abstain, which is what I promote, abstinence is what I promote. But I'm telling you the truth, even if we sing abstinence, many of you girls just do that, like, oh, you are old-fashioned. How can I? Protect yourself from diseases. Protect yourself from, exposing anything that you should not be knowing. Protect yourself from getting over heels and getting on him as though he is your husband. Protect yourself from, have precautions in the way you are actually reaching out to him. There are some guys, you are just dating him. And what is happening is that you take over his washing, you start cooking for him, you start doing all those chores. No. Take precautions by maintaining who you are. Take precautions by keeping your body safe. Take precautions by keeping your mind sane. Be focused, remain focused. Take precautions because many times you may find yourself even overly spending. By overly spending, I'm also talking about financial spending and even time spending. You'll be spending so many hours chatting with him and, texting him, talking all the sweet nothings and all. Take some precautions, take some precautions. You need to time. This is what I'm going to be doing at that particular time. And when it's like this, I cannot do this. It is very important for you to actually put all these things into perspective so that you have precautions over your life. You have precautions over your finances. Whatever you haven't budgeted for. There are some girls, you exaggerate birthday gifts. You go and buy expensive perfume and this, or you needed this, and you start spending things that were not on your budget. Take precautions because you still have you to exist. This is why many girls get very hurt because you did not take precautions and you end up getting pregnant. Please, I want to emphasize this. If you've gone in with unprotected sex and you discover you are pregnant, please keep that child. Keep that pregnancy because that is life. The very day there is fertilization, that is life. So if you did not take precautions, at least take precautions to keep that baby. Okay, take precautions to keep that baby because that is a life. There are many women today who are married who cannot have children because when they were young, they had 2-3 abortions. Those are lives. And sometimes those abortions were not properly done and there's been some medical issues in their reproductive system. Besides, this guy may not even respect you if you even start being the first one to talk about abortion because he would now suspect that how many other abortions have you had. So take precautions for your body. Love you. The final P is power. Never give up your power. You have met this guy. Never give up your power. Maintain your power. Maintain your power for your career. Maintain your feminine power. Do not change your feminine power. You need to maintain that power. Never give a permission for someone to take over your power. You own you. You need to know you are in charge of happiness. You are in charge of the joy that you want to continuously experience. Remember before meeting this guy, you were laughing. Remember before meeting this guy, you were okay. So nothing must change. Keep your power. Maintain the power that have to make you still achieve the things that you want to achieve. And this whole thing that you allow your heart to be pricked into because you gave it all and you took time to come out of the things that you were supposed to be doing. You gave him too much time, you gave him too much attention and all that. Please reduce some expectations and get your power in charge. Get yourself in charge of the power that you have. If anything, when it comes to feminine power, it's the most attractive thing that every man looks out for. He wants you to be in charge. He wants you to remain in control. He wants you to remain assertive. He wants you to remain still focused. And you are not this emotional being who's possessive, who is all over him, who is checking up on him. Even when you see that there are blue ticks on his WhatsApp, you're like, oh, you saw my text and you could not respond immediately. Well, the guy has got some things that he's doing. If anything, you need to know that the moment you start just following up in everything that he's doing, wanting to do just what he's doing, and saying yes to everything, you are giving up your power of control. Okay, he's not your husband, so he should not take over your life. He should not take over your career. He should not take over your heart. You haven't yet said, I do. And even when later on you say, I do, again, maintain your power because this feminine power is what has made a lot of women to actually get hurt. They've got they're nursing broken hearts because they gave up their power. And so these are some of the 5, principles that will help you to get yourself in a relationship and get yourself aligned. When you keep these 5 things, it is a foundation to what is going to happen later, because there's so much great impact that marriage has on your career. And how you date and what you do during dating is very important, because when you mess up in the beginning, your career may actually be a mess. Thank you so much.